Hey, welcome to Digging Into the Bible. My name is Jim Barnard. This is a production of Tiller Coaching. All right, well, it's day 49, so good to be with you. Yesterday, I went a little long on the podcast. It is really hard to get all of this good stuff done in 5 minutes. And I don't want to just read the Bible, tell you something, be done. I try to spice it up a little bit. So I went too long on the Packers sweater vest thing. Okay. I blew it, whatever. But I really want to enjoy this, and I truly am. I hope that you are enjoying this journey through this book of Matthew. I think it's such a great gospel. But so today follows right in step with where we were yesterday. There was this section about woe to you for temptations and how temptations are so hard and so terrible. The temptations cause us to turn away from God, and that's the time that we need to be humble and turn back. But the section about the lost sheep is very much in line with the temptations, because often that's what causes us to go astray. It's really what causes us to turn our backs. And so Jesus does a good work to go as the shepherd and to draw us back. But I think we play a role in it as well. And so I just love to carry on with this. We're going to dig into Matthew 18, starting at verse 15. If your brother sins against you, go and tell him his fault between you and him alone. If he listens to you, you have gained your brother. But if he does not listen, take one or two others along with you, that every charge may be established by the evidence of 2 or 3 witnesses. If he refuses to listen to them, tell it to the church. And if he refuses to listen to even the church, let him be to you as a Gentile and a tax collector. Truly, I say to you, whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. Again, I say to you, if 2 of you agree on earth about anything they ask, it will be done for them by my Father in heaven. For where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am among them. All right, so I find this section, this is a famous part of Matthew. This is often where believers go to try to handle conflict and resolve, what is, caused division. And I think that's good and right, but it's clearly stated as like this sheep that's gone astray is chosen sin, right? And this person that has left the community has chosen sin and needs to be held accountable. There's this concept that I learned about a year or 2 ago that I really love, and I talk about it pretty often in my coaching. It's called E², and it means that when we as believers meet someone new, we size people up, right? And hopefully not by the color of their skin or by their money, by any other socioeconomical status, but are they believers or are they not? And so if they're not a believer, we evangelize to them. That's the goal, and sometimes that's just telling them the truth, being kind, being loving, and sometimes it's explicitly sharing the gospel, but not always. There's the phrase that's so famous. I think it was St. Francis of Assisi saying, "Preach the gospel always. Use words when necessary." Okay, great, let's evangelize, right? But then the other E is edification. And I talk to a lot of people that are really hacked off at other believers because they felt like they came after them about something, I didn't handle that right, but they weren't kind. Well, they would often say, well, they weren't edifying to me. Well, I don't think that that's what edification means. There's kind of 2 subpoints in my book of edification. It is encouragement, which is not what that person got, but accountability, which is what that person got. It just felt hard. This section is really about accountability. And where he ends is such a factor of stay in community. Where 2 or 3 are present, there I will be also. Because in community we have we're able to encourage each other all day. It's when someone strays and goes off, that's where the accountability of edification happens, and it doesn't feel good, but it is so important. There are so many temptations to sin. The tempter does that professionally. He's really good at it. And so if we aren't in community, if we aren't protecting one another, man, we're going to be shedding off pieces and parts all over the place, and that's just no good. Like, we have to hold each other accountable, to encourage each other, and sometimes it's not going to feel good. Sometimes it's going to be really hard. That's why Jesus invites other people into that process when it gets real. But I don't know if you've ever had to do that, hold someone accountable. It's not pleasant. I've had to do it a few times. And sometimes it's gone well, and sometimes it's gone very poorly. Sometimes my emotions get involved where they don't belong. But, I think that it's a good and right effort to be a part of trying to pull the sheep back in, because Jesus is really demonstrating how serious this is and how the tempter wants to get us isolated. So that's what I have. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I will see you tomorrow as we continue on with Matthew chapter 18. I'll see you then.